for me, it's like a 5-year time period. For a while, it was just the word balance, because I was doing more producing. And when I lived in Santa Fe, New Mexico for 10 years, I did 14 of my shows. I played other shows with other artists that I was producing and toured with, but I did 14 of my shows in 10 years. If you follow me on social media now, I might do 14 shows in a week sometimes now. So that was a crazy. So the word balance for 5 years followed me around. I don't have a song called Balance, but I do have several songs that are related around that for me. So that's how I come up with titles. Sometimes the title comes before the song. I have a song called Unforgotten that was interesting because I had I'm glad you brought this up. Unforgotten came out on a record in 2016? Yeah, let's go with that. And I had this progression. And it always had a feeling for me, and I was going through lots of grief. I had lost a lot of friends in a short amount of time period. But I still didn't have a name for it. This is a rare case where I had the song, I even had the track. I had the track almost completely done. So I had the track almost completely done. I was in my studio, and I had played it. We had started doing it at sound check sometimes. Didn't have a title, but it was just something I would warm up on. And I was at my studio. I worked on the track, built it, everything. I was about to cut the solo, and a friend of mine that I knew in Columbus, Georgia. I live in Opelika, Alabama now. And she called and she said, "I'm in your town," which was strange because it's still 30 minutes away. And if you don't normally go to Opelika, it's not now there's more nightlife, but this wasn't even at night. This was in the middle of the day. She goes, "I'm in your town, and I happen to have one of my dad's guitars. Would you play it for me?" So her dad had passed away. Her dad owned a music store years ago before I met her. And when he passed away, they got rid of everything, but her and her mom kept 2 of his guitars. So she goes, "Will you play for me?" I said, "Sure, bring it over." So she brings it over, I open it up. It's a white private stock PRS guitar, signed by Joe Nags, who built this guitar. I was like, "Oh, cool." Picked it up, it was great, and I'm playing, got it plugged into my rig, everything's ready to go, and I just hit record. And so there's 2 versions of Unforgotten. The first single version is that solo. It was 1 take, just hit it, did it with that guitar, and then there's another re-recorded version of it, I think for the video, that's not this guitar, but one of the first Nags that I got. But afterwards she said, "Thank you for helping me remember my dad." And I was like, name the song's Unforgotten. And I play that for friends and family that have lost someone, and it means a lot to me now. But I didn't have the title. It was rare that I had the whole song recorded. I'm recording a solo, still don't know what to call it. It's song number 4, or whatever it was at the time. So let me play that. I'll play that now. that's one written, everything's done. How many of you guys are songwriters? Do you ever write a song all at once? Like it just comes to rare divine intervention kind of thing?
What's your usual process for constructing a solo?
Constructing a solo?
Yeah.
Ooh. The first thing is to overplay. So I'm first approaching it as a guitar player, so I overplay, and then I listen back to it, and the producer in me comes out and goes, yeah, that's great, it's not gonna work. So let's tone it down, tone it down, tone it down. It has to start somewhere where it's interesting. I think that comes. I grew up a fan of Van Halen, and especially the first 3 records. Every Van Halen solo is. First of all, Van Halen songs, the first 3 records, are a setup for the guitar solo. Like most songs are a setup for a vocal, right? Guitar solo is a setup for the vocal coming back in, the chorus, something like that. Van Halen songs are a setup for the guitar solo. Everything about it. So it's just like, there's a build up to it, and then Eddie hits like this crazy note and whatever, the start of the solo, you're like, yes, that's great. So I grew up with that. You gotta have something that says, hello, here's a guitar solo. But then you have to work towards something, so it's gotta build to somewhere. And then when you feel, especially live, when you feel like you've built it up as much as you can, especially when playing a trio or a band, then it's like, all right, help, get me out of here. It's time to get back to the song. And I have been known to drag things on. Playing with tracks, I do a live stream every Tuesday. The Sunday night is Acoustic Mellow, very, very different than this. Tuesday nights are this electric and stuff. So that's helped me hone in, getting where it needs to be. Just because I know that I'm running out of time right here. I know that I need to get to somewhere and deliver my message. Yes.
So that being said, is a lot of your stuff pre-written solos, or like what you're doing now, is that a lot of improvisation? Or like kind of just in between where you have points that you need to get to and you're kind of messing around in between?
There are roadmaps, there are points that need to be. So the whole beginning is usually improvised. I don't even remember what I did on the record.
Yeah.
The whole beginning is improvised, then the melody. So all of this, that's purely how I feel at the moment, what I'm doing there. Then it comes into, that's all melody. And then I might play off of the melody. I tend to do a lot of that. That's all there is to the melody. Anything else I add is improvised. So it could be that, or it could be that. And the next part of the melody is that's
so
it.
From night to night, do you find that the improvised stuff that you do kind of sounds like you do the same things even if you don't realize that you're doing it based off of the
good question.
song?
What happens over a time period is you build, you do stuff, you hear other things, go, well, that was really cool.
Yeah.
What did I do there? So then the next night you might go, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that again. I have a song called Political Rain that it was already long enough, but we would play it longer. And over the years, that song was written in 1989, came on my first record in 1990. Over the years, little bits of improv have worked their way into it. So the song is a lot longer now, but those key points in the solo, happen at the same time. Getting from one point to another point is improv. And then how I play those things, the little motifs, I should say, are improvised as well. I can play that next.
Tell the story.
The story?
The story's
This camera's going.
the story's awesome though.
Well, I grew up in New York City, and in the late 80s, 88 or 89, New York City bought a bunch of brand new garbage trucks, $110,000 a piece. It's Manhattan. Someone stole 14 of them. It's an island, it's 12 miles long, 6 miles wide. Can't get those off an island, and back then there's no easy pass. You needed written stuff to get a city vehicle on or off Manhattan. So you think, all right, they stole them, they're playing a practical joke, whatever. They're hidden on this small island someplace. Nope, they found some in neighboring states and cities, and not just in the private sector, but like governments and city officials. So I always go, I would have liked to have been in that office meeting and someone goes, "Hey, Mr. Mayor, we really need a new garbage truck." He goes, "Well, they're expensive, like $100,000 plus." And someone goes, "I know that. Don't pay 110 for that. 30 grand cash tonight." Which in the 80s, a lot of New York and Jersey. Hopefully no one comes after me for bringing that up. So, so this is Political Rain, and it has several motifs, and I've added little ones over the years in the sense that I would be playing and I'd hit something and it resonated with me, and so I might do it again night after night, and then over the years it's like the song started here and it's progressed to this, so those motifs come back and forth, and they're just as much of the writing of the song to me as the rest of the song. So. This is also, by the way, the first song. I didn't want to do instrumental. I was at 80. I came back from a big tour in '88 as a sideman, and I put together a trio. Where first a friend of mine jammed with Danny Gottlieb, great drummer, and he helped define everything I do in the sense that he just turned loose jams into songs, and it taught me how to do that. He played with Pat Metheny and quite a few other people. Great drummer, but really great musician in the sense that trumps every other instrument you play. So we auditioned a bunch of singers, and nobody worked out for various reasons. I don't want to say it because we're on camera, but it just didn't work out. And so I wanted to play, and I was like, all right, screw this. I want to go play. So we'll just play an instrumental. And it happened to be that in '88, Vi and Satch, and then Eric Johnson was coming out with I'll Be a Musicom, and there were some other guitar records throughout. And I was signed to Ibanez at the time. There were lots of instrumental guitars. I said, I'll just do an instrumental. But I always wanted to do it with a vocalist. So this was one of the first songs that let me go, all right, I could do this as an instrumental. And I did change. I used to play Bleecker Street, Kenny's Castaways in the bitter end. And no offense, but it was only guitar players that were coming, and they were sitting there twirling their picks, watching, which is interesting. But and there weren't many women guitar players. The women in the club were at the back of the club, and they would only come up front because the men's room was there and the ladies' room was there. And so I actually changed my music to include more, to be interesting to more people. Just a side note. This is Political Rain. Okay, so there are lots of motifs in that weren't there on the first record. You have the original record. I'm adding only things that have become, for me, a major part of the song. And that's just over playing the song since 1989 with different rhythm sections and stuff like that. Yes, Ruben.
You said you was gonna put some lyrics to it at first. Did you ever write lyrics?
No, I was looking for a singer and we were going to try and write lyrics together.
Okay.
This is before I started producing other singer-songwriters and co-writing songs with different people.
Okay.
This is when I was purely a guitar player.
Okay. Okay. Other question.
Yes.
What do you recommend, like, for sustained tone? Like long sustain, would it be like with a pedal that you would recommend, or would it be like in a pickup? A certain kind of combination there?
Don't change your pickups unless you don't like the sound of the guitar without just clean. If you like the sound of the guitar clean, then the pickups work.
Okay.
For me, I think. But it depends on the amp that you're using. If you're using an amp that has a good overdrive, are you talking about for overdrive or a clean, what
Yeah, like
sound
a
you
clean
go for?
overdrive or something, or say for a long sustain, you want to hit a note.
Santana sustain?
Something, well, it could be something like that, you want it clean,
Uh-huh.
get a little grit in it,
Oh,
maybe.
probably a compressor.
Okay.
Probably compressor. So not like full on distortion, but like just,
Okay,
yeah, I would just
Okay.
have a compressor.
okay.
Like the Keeley. Dane, what do you have in the store that's like the Keeley, or the red compressor or anything like that?
Oh, that one on the floor right there,
The one on the floor.
buddy. Isn't that what you have right
Well, that's the overdrive.
there? Oh.
Yes.
Someone in the live stream chat wanted to know if you do the bass in your backing tracks, or if someone else plays bass for
Me.
you.
Bass, drum programming, live drums, or so everything. So my records go from 1990 to 2020, and I would do guitar clinics, and I got tired of everything sounding slightly different. So I made one giant Pro Tool session, and stuff that was programmed, I left programmed. Stuff that was not programmed, I either played a little bit and converted to MIDI, so then I can use the same drum kit. Stuff from records that I had files were converted to MIDI. The same as the bass. So everything is played and then converted to MIDI, and I have one giant session. So if I want to change the sound of the drums or the bass, I could just change that module, and the sound changes, but the playing stays the same.
Killer.
Yes.
Thanks for playing today, Larry. My question is what pickups are in it? Are they all DiMarzio? And
Yes.
if they're not, what are they?
I've been with DiMarzio since 1985-ish, probably 85 or 84 unofficially, and then officially somewhere around 88. This is DiMarzio Area 67 since guitar. They're like noise canceling kind of single coils, and I don't know if that's the best definition. Phil? They're Area 67s.
Yeah, they're just noiseless. They're stacked humbuckers.
Stacked humbuckers. And then this is a sax track, but the sax track, if you're familiar with Joe Satriani guitars, there's no bridge single coil. It's a net pickup in the sax. So it's a sax track net pickup, but I use it in the bridge. That was purely Steve Blucher, Vice President of DiMarzio, when I told him that Joe Nags was building me guitar. I wanted to talk to him about pickups. He goes, I have the pickup for you, and he sent me that. So it worked. Right out of the box. Yes. Oh, wait, sorry. She was first.
I just wanted to know, how many guitars do you have, and is this like your favorite?
This is the only guitar I have. It's the only guitar I have. I have a few guitars. I have 4 of my models. I'll leave it at that. That's two semi-hollow and 2 solid. Oh, T-Rex Neocom, the BB Vericom. Okay. Yeah, you could try those and stuff like that too. You had a question?
Oh yeah, so I mean, almost every day I'll solo the backing tracks, and I kind of notice like, yeah, some days it's really easy to just like burst out like so many solos with so many ideas, but then the occasional off day it's like I can hardly get a phrase out, like it's just stumbling over and over again. So like, have you developed any sort of methods to kind of get over that, or is it just a matter of just taking a break for?
So take this in a good way.
Yeah.
The common denominator is you.
Right.
And it's just how you motivate yourself. If you're in. So I don't know if, I think it was Political Rain I was playing, and I was thinking my head was somewhere else. I wasn't in the zone. So I say to myself, I remind myself, and I go, focus.
Right.
And focus means not focusing on what's going on here. It's not even focusing on certain aspects. Like I think this G string is unraveling or something was weird. So that pulls me out of that zone.
Right.
Focus for me means to get back into the zone of why am I doing this solo? What's the inspiration? Like you have to have an idea of what you want to say.
Yeah.
And then it's about how you all your experience and training and practicing is what you rely on to help get that out.
Right. Thanks.
Yeah. So that's what I meant. The common denominator is you. If you're having a bad day and you're trying to play,
It's gonna show
you
up
got
there.
all this other stuff on your mind.
Right.
You're not in that zone to play.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then a lot of times I come out and I'm thinking all technical stuff. I'm thinking, am I in tune? And I should play this scale. I should do that and something. And I got to get out of that.
Right.
You want to practice scales and work on your licks and stuff like that to not have to think about it, to just express yourself. It'd be like trying to give a speech or talk to someone and think about all the words you know. And
Right.
I should use this word now. I should use this word now. You can't do that. You need
No,
to
like
just
that's exactly
do it.
what's going through my head doing
Yes.
that. So yeah.
Yes. We're the common denominator. So from night to night.
Yeah. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Along those lines, what do you recommend for breaking out of certain patterns that you feel like you keep falling back to? How do you kind of like break free of those?
One is learn new patterns. Two is to get out of the head of like, we were kind of talking about this earlier. So you learn something new and then you want to insert it everywhere, right? But eventually you have to get out of that and you just have to play music. So learning a pattern, learning scales, learning arpeggios, stuff like that, that's not music. That's just technique. So, and we do it in order to remember it, to get it in our heads and go, oh, I could do this here or that. But at some point you have to get out of that and just play music.
Thank you again.
Does that help at all?
Yes,
Or-
it does. Thank you.
You could also try, changing the keys and stuff like that, but you really still got to get away from that. You have to be centered into, I want to make music.
Thank you.
Sure. Sold to the lady in white shirt for $3,000. What else would you guys like to know? Would you like to know anything?
I have another question. This is going to be more on kind of like the like composition, recording, all the way and like over to like distribution. Like for someone who is kind of just an at-home musician, I guess what would be the most efficient way to go from like composition to production to digital distribution? Like say someone said you had a week to make a record.
Okay.
How would you go about doing that?
You got songs?
Yeah.
That's the best thing. If you don't have songs, you don't have anything.
Yeah.
Then you figure out what kind of record you want to make. Are you making a blues record, a rock record, an R&B record? Are you the solo artist, or are you a band? Do you want to make it so that it feels like a band, and later on you're going to put together a band, or do you want to just do it however you are as a solo artist?
Right.
Then you want to write, you want to record, and you can do Bandcamp, which is a great way. There's a bunch of different ways to get your stuff distributed.
Okay.
Is that what you meant, or?
Yeah, and then is there any sort of other steps that would kind of be helpful in terms of like, do I need to register with like ASCAP or anything like that, or is that usually abstracted from like the digital distribution?
You could look on ASCAP's or BMI's site and see how to become a member. It used to be the minute if you put something out, if you didn't declare a rights that you could just say it would be automatic ASCAP, but I don't know what's going on. The music business is very complex.
Oh yeah.
But Yeah, I would look and see if you want to join one of those like organizations and stuff like that. Like, there's a whole bunch of other organizations now. MLC, which I can't think of what it stands for, that collect differently for the digital world, which almost very little media is physical media.
Right.
So you should investigate those. MLC, if you look up for music. There's another organization that I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on that collects for digital stuff, digital distribution, the stuff that's out there.
Can you use like DistroKid?
DistroKid is just a distributor.
Oh,
Yeah, DistroKid, Bandcamp, CD Baby, TuneCore, and there's probably a ton of others. And they basically, you send it to them, you upload it on their site, create a page, and then they put it in Apple, iTunes, iMusic, Amazon Music, Spotify, if you really want to do Spotify, and other sites like that.
Do you not recommend putting your music on Spotify?
Have you been watching what's going on with Spotify?
I guess not.
Apparently, it costs $0 to make for artists to make a record these days, according to the CEO of Spotify. So we don't deserve to make it. I'll leave it at that. My last two records are not on Spotify. They are. Do I have any CDs left of those? So they're Shadows on the Soul and Tunnel are only available on, digitally on Bandcamp, which pays artists directly, and then on CD. Did you have questions?
Yeah, do you advise people to promote themselves on YouTube?
Sure. Phil?
Because he has a YouTube channel. My son does, he has a YouTube channel.
Your son does? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know Phil?
I do know. Oh, not. I mean, I just met him today. So,
Okay.
I mean,
He's pretty good at playing guitar, it's just not mom speaking, but
Okay.
he could be another Santana.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Junior.
Just roll with it.
just roll with it. Gotta roll with it.
The stuff my mom says when people come over to the studio, he's just.
Oh yeah.
He's good though. He's
I mean,
I'm not
it's-
speaking just because
yeah.
I'm a mom.
That's what moms do. That's their
Exactly.
job.
Yeah.
He's got it there.
That's all good. You need someone in your corner. Believe me.
It's true. It's true.
There you go.
How many?
You're asking
I don't understand the question.
it's how many guitars you have now
And one more.
plus one.
more.
That's how
One
many
more.
you're supposed to have.
Yeah, and if you need to buy a bigger house or a storage unit to hold the cases. Yes.
You academically trained or just self-taught?
No. I am self-taught. Or I should say community taught. That's a good subject. Find your community. Everybody's got friends and stuff that play. And just not a competition, but it's just a healthy group of people. I grew up always around about 10 guitar players. And most of them are not playing professionally anymore. They were doing stuff and some are doing amazing stuff. Like our friend John Levin he went to law school, became a lawyer, but he's been a guitarist in Docking for 15 plus years, I think now. There were some of the other guitar players that we hung out with and that are doing amazing stuff. Steve Stevens is from the neighborhood. We always had a group of 10 guitar players that you hung out with. Jeff Dahl, who was a student of Steve's, and I hung out with Jeff and learned about delays and stuff. That we would just get together and hang out. Caleb and I used to hang out and play and stuff like that, and ask each other questions. You need that core group of people just to hang out and play. Oh, check this out. And we were all different styles of music. I remember with John could, you'd go to John's house. He was still in high school. I was out. And he knew every Van Halen riff, every Yngwie lick, and every George Lynch lick. And I would be over there going, oh yeah, here's the new, he's like, what's that? And I'd go, what's that? And so you learn something. We had another friend, Jeff, who would come in and go, I just took a lesson from Bill Connors. and he would do like this crazy chord. We're like, Jeff, that's gonna break your fingers. But you learn a chord from him. You're like, I don't know what to do with this chord, but I'm gonna learn it now. It's kind of cool. And it's just that it was a really, the group in Far Rockaway, where I grew up in Queens, was really good that way. Just hang out, get together and talk. Just like kids would probably skateboard or play basketball or baseball or whatever. You hang out. If you're not playing and you're just talking about playing, we would just hang out and talk about guitars and stuff like that. And then with John, as I said, we were doing different types of music and stuff. So community, I am community taught, I would say that. And then later on when I started producing, I needed to learn things a little bit better. How to, is that off? I needed to learn how to communicate better with other musicians I would hire or something like that, and I had to learn things a little bit better. Now with YouTube, you can learn a lot of things. I learned my theory not in the best order. In '93, I did a video on REH. Remember instructional videotapes?
Yeah.
So I was doing a Billy Squier tour, and I got we worked out a deal to do an REH video on the downtime of the Squier tour. So I flew out to California. I got picked up by this guy named Don, and we're driving back, and I'm all excited. I don't think I was cocky. I think I was just like I was confident in what I was doing. I developed in my community taught and my self-learning, I developed this thing called a linking system, which made sense in my head. It made sense. In reality, it works. It works. This is fuzzy. This shouldn't work. This works. You know, as how I got through my logic and stuff like that. So I'm in the car with Don, and I don't realize Don's last name. And he goes, hey, we're going to pass by GIT. Do you want to go? I'm like, sure. So we go to GIT. And we are actually walking through the halls. I used to be an Ibanez artist, so there are some big posters of me in there. This was not for me. We're walking through halls, and students are almost bowing. I'm like, dude, what's your last name? Because this is not for me. That was cute the first couple of times. But that's has nothing to do with me. He goes, Mock. I'm like, Don Mock, like one of the most amazing jazz guitar players, and one of the founders of GIT. And he's directing my video. Now, I was all confident because I came up with this style that, again, makes sense, a little fuzzy, doesn't make sense again, it works. So the next day he picks me up, we go to the studio. All the confidence I had is gone. So I'm like, you start those instructional videotapes like, okay, so this is based off a G major scale. So we're gonna start with G, A, B. He goes, what are you doing? I was like, I don't want to teach anybody anything wrong. I questioned everything. He goes, stop. He watched my demo video. I had to do a demo video of the lesson I was going to do before we went to shoot it. And he says, I won't let you say anything wrong. And he did stop me a couple of times. Explain to me how you got to that logic. And I would explain it to him. And he goes, maybe word it like this. Or he would go like, oh, okay, I get it. But I had to start over because I was like, he founded GIT. He knows all the theory behind all this stuff. And this is a G note, right? This is a G major scale, right? And I knew it, but I just lost. Okay. What else would you guys like to know? Yes.
On the F hole that you have, was that like an aesthetic choice, or did you like that tone better that it brings?
I like the tone.
Yeah.
Right now, I have two. It's a full. Joe makes guitars like his hollow bodies are full hollow bodies. Go all the way and stuff like that. So I have two semi-hollows and two solid body guitars of my model. And right now, I am very into the semi-hollow. It's a little rounder for me right now, but it's just what I'm into right now. I probably will go back to the solid bodies at some point, or what I'm doing. I just did the Opelika Songwriters Festival, and I used when I played with a singer-songwriter, I used the solid body ones, probably backwards, but that's what I felt at the time. And then I use this for the for my show and for the Songwriter Jam. Looking at the watch. Donuts for you. Yes.
So if you were to have started your music career now,
I've never graduated high school. I've been watching YouTube. I've been learning stuff.
well, I was gonna wonder what you would do the same that you did back when you started, and what you would do differently compared to now.
I don't know. I mean, I only know how I grew up, and one of the things was trying to learn songs without, like now, it's amazing. I was working with a singer-songwriter in San Diego a few years ago, and after sound check, she goes, "Do you know Fragile by Sting?" I'm like, "No." She goes, "Oh, I would like to do it tonight." I'm like, "Tell me now." So I got on my phone, I YouTube how to play Fragile by Sting, and there were 8 videos that I looked at, and there were a couple that didn't sound right, and then there was one that sounded great, but the guy had a hard time explaining. He wasn't doing a great job explaining how to do it. And then there one where I found someone that was great at both, and I was like, all right, I learned the song, and we played it as part of the encore and stuff like that. That's amazing. I used to have to sit there and try and learn stuff. In fact, when I got the Tracy Chapman gig, it was so foreign to me. I called my friend Dave, who used to be my guitar tech at one point, and Dave, I think, only wrote one song that I'm aware of, but he knew his memory of songs is great, and he learned 30 songs, and it's like, oh, this is what she's doing here. Now, in hindsight, we learned her parts, which was a mistake, because Tracy's great. She's one of the best acoustic, like a robot almost, in that it's going to be the same and great every time. But he showed me how to play those songs in an evening. But I learned how to, try and figure out song parts. I like what we were talking about earlier about learning that whole concept of turning pedals on and off, pulling up. That's an art form. I don't regret learning things the way I did. I just can't imagine the way it is now. It's amazing to me that we have all the technique that's available. We have so I hope everybody's using look stuff up. Now if I don't really get bored, but now if I want to learn something, I just type it into YouTube. I want to play, and there was a thing that I recently did that it just made me look at things differently. Like I was looking at let's see. So minor pentatonic. Or A minor arpeggio. So A, C, E, and G. So you look at it, and that's kind of an odd thing to play, like that. But you can also just make the 7th note, the minor 7th, lower. We were doing this earlier, Bill and I. So I knew that, but I never thought about it that way. But I watched the guy on YouTube do it, and I was like, and he explained it, I was like, that's really cool. I'm going to start using that. We end up with step on the wrong button. That is all minor pentatonic or minor 7 arpeggio. That came from me just sitting down and going, I want to learn something new, so I type it into YouTube. That's an amazing thing. What else?
I have a question. It's
a mom question.
Okay. I'm not gonna
So-
just eat donuts, I'm gonna eat
Great.
real food.
So do you advise for the younger generation to have like a major in a degree and then a minor on music or vice versa?
I didn't go to college. I taught college, but I didn't go to college, so I'm not. I don't know. It's really that's a tough question. Yes, I have former bandmates that probably have $90,000 in college debt from going to Berkeley School of Music. I don't. I didn't. One of them is now going to law school, so it's like
Yeah.
make a living enough to pay off all his college debt. I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the answer for that is.
No.
For me, it was always. There was no doubt I was going to do music, but I'm okay. Not necessarily making or living an extravagant life. I kind of did that for a minute. I can eat
Well, that's good.
easily.
No, because I had like in the family, within the family, there's people that like, music or compose or
Mhm.
so I had my son like, had a major in engineering and a minor in music.
Can't hurt.
So, but the talent is there. I just, I thought it was like risky.
It is 100% risky.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would only encourage someone to do music all the way is if they felt like they cannot not do it.
Okay.
If it feels like it's lifeblood and you have to do music, then by all do it. But if you have the slightest doubt, you might as well do some other stuff.
Well, you play beautifully.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play, since it's almost 3 o'clock, I'm gonna play the last 2 songs. I'll play 2 songs from the latest electric record, and I say latest, it came 4 years ago. Called Shadows on the Soul, the title track, and then Tunnel. And I do have CDs for sale, t-shirts, because that's where we are, and yo-yos.
Yeah.
I sell CDs, t-shirts, yo-yos. I'm out of coloring books, and I'm out of shot glasses.
I'll buy a yo-yo if you can do the yo-yo.
Huh?
I'll buy a yo-yo if you can perform the yo-yo.
Perform
I can do the yo-yo, but Stephanie is the yo-yo. She's the yo-yo lady. She wants no part of that. No part of I can't reach back there and plug the wireless in. Thank you, ZIMM'S Guitarists, for doing this. Thanks for Phil for announcing on your show. Really appreciate that. I watched Phil's show.